BTS Spinebreaker Explained. After we reacted to Spinebreaker, everyone was saying that we need to watch the explained version of the song so we know what it's about, because we just saw the crazy MV where they're just doing a bunch of weird stuff, but apparently the song is pretty like meaningful.
Yeah, we didn't get to really like look at the lyrics either, so
yeah,
now we get the meaning.
Yes! Let's do it right here, right now. Hopefully you enjoy. If you do, subscribe, like the video, let us know what other BTS explained videos or other things like this that we should check out, and more songs and stuff. BTS every Sunday, every single Wednesday, and on the Patreon every Saturday, and then random sprinkled in videos.
Like this.
Whoa! Alright, let's do this. Here we go. The greatest music video of all time.
Spinebreaker. What a strong title name. For new armies or casual listeners that don't look into the lyrics that much, the title might be a little misleading or misunderstood in the way of maybe BTS crushing their haters' spines. I doubt that anybody would actually think like that, but still, without knowing the Korean cultural references behind the story, this song is a little bit hard for foreigners to fully comprehend. But before we go on to the explanation itself, let's give a short shout out to our sponsor. 우선 저희 Explain 시리즈를 사랑해주시는 많은 구독자분들께
If you want to support this video, go check it out and get a sponsor.
1대1 보이스 된다고 합니다.
You can 수십짜리 신발에 또 수백짜리 패딩 수십짜리 시계에 또 으스대지 개닉 교육은 산으로 가고 학생도 산으로 가.
Extremely expensive shoes, padding jackets, and watches. These are all everyday objects that students use in their daily lives. Education is going up the mountain, students are also going up the mountain. Going up the mountain is a Korean idiom called 사공이 많으면 배가 산으로 간다, which is translated into too many cooks spoil the broth. So basically BTS is trying to criticize the students alongside with the Korean education system that both parties are going in the wrong direction.
Oh, wow.
These lines express what school looks like these days in a nutshell. Rich students and poor students can be identified by whether they have expensive clothes or not. For students who cannot afford these expensive clothes, they'll do whatever they can to get their hands on these particular brands or clothes. BTS now tries to touch the conscience of these students about their behavior trying to get expensive apparel, how they're sensitive towards trends and appearance, and how they whined and begged and asked their parents again and again to buy them these expensive clothes. Finally, the word spinebreaker appears. The phrase spinebreaker comes from the Korean idiom 등골이 휘다, which literally means your back gets bent because you work so much. Usually, hard physical labor is done by bending your back. Thus, if you work too much, your spine would permanently become bent. So, BTS is calling kids who beg their parents to buy them expensive clothes spinebreakers. Not only the kids, but certain items themselves are now officially called spinebreakers because parents need to work so hard to afford these items. So these so-called spinebreaker kids don't care how hard their parents try to provide them food or necessities, but rather pester their parents by saying, "But all of my friends have it too."
I feel like with like TikTok and social media, this is worse than it's ever been.
Yeah, and even like, at least in America, the like rap culture, like literally designer brands are dropped constantly in songs.
Then everyone's like, you have all these social media people promoting the brands and they're all famous. They're like, look I got this awesome shirt. Why don't you have it?
Yeah, and they're getting funneled with money to do that by the brands, and it will work.
And I mean, people on TikTok literally get famous for being rich and having nice things.
Yeah, there's literally sometimes trends that will come through that will literally just be like, oh, I'm rich, look at me. And then they get famous because of it.
People are like, ooh, here you go, have fame.
But why specifically padded jackets? It's because students in Korea wear school uniforms, but in the winter it gets too cold, so the most convenient body warmer would be a padded jacket. A few years ago, the padded jacket market wasn't that diverse, and particular brands were lead brands in the industry, such as the notorious North Face. These padded jackets had and still do have an extremely high price. the average price range would go from $500 to $1,000.
Oh my!
For a coat, they're not that expensive here.
Is North Face an American brand?
I think so.
Or maybe Canadian?
Yeah, it's in English.
Yeah. Wow, that's nowhere near as expensive here.
I'm sure they have ones that expensive.
Yeah.
But not like just for normal
the
jackets.
Padded jacket they're referring to. I don't think that it's $500 here.
No. Wow.
Had ranks in the paddings, depending on how much duck down was inside. But nowadays, it's no longer about particular brands and clothing. The spine breaking has evolved and expanded into products such as smartphones. So obviously, the luxurious clothing was a burden to parents that were not in the position to afford it, but nevertheless their kids demanded them to buy it. So that's why the last lyric says, rather than filling your jacket with duck down, fill your head first with some common sense or conscience before it's too late. The chorus
Really cool
is
song.
literally BTS being satirical about the kids that feel good and feel swag in their dirty clothes. It's dirty clothes because they earned it in a dirty way, not by earning the money themselves, but by breaking their parents' backs. The expression that the dirty clothes will tighten up your heart means that eventually the kids will feel guilty and bad about wearing their clothes. In the second verse, BTS disses the kid haters. 배가 부르다 means that you have it easy and you have no worries of getting food in your mouth. Kids have their bellies full all due to their parents. Thus, they don't know how to do anything but to just feed on provided food. But they're being nosy and saying things that they wouldn't be able to say in front of the actual person, bluffing. You'll only be satisfied when the whole population of Korea dresses the same as you. This is satire against how kids think wearing the same things look cool. RM then goes on by saying, mind your own business, fashion, and life. When RM's voice changes into a comical version, he is impersonating and mocking the kids by imitating what they would actually say, such as, "But I want it so much, what should I do? Friends poorer than me even have it. If I don't want to be an outcast, I need to buy it." At this age, we're all supposed to be like this.
It's just saying all kids are exactly the same.
RM says people might call him crazy or a no-no and criticize him for wearing expensive clothes. But he also points out that at least he's attractive, and most of all, he's not a spine breaker that begs for his parents to buy him clothes. The last line is the killing point of the song. The real spine breaker is you, who's still in the corner of your room at that age. Which means you can't do anything by yourself, so why don't you just shut up and respect your parents by helping them not suffer by paying your stupid padding jacket.
Interesting.
Wow.
I mean, very interesting. And the thing you said about the cell phones too, I mean, imagine, even adults, like, nowadays there's a lot of adults that still get, like, they spine break their parents still, you know, like, they're like, oh, why don't I have this, why don't I have this? And, like, I mean, think of social media, TikTok. If you have the new iPhone that has very few extra features on it, you're cooler than everybody else who just has the previous iPhone.
Yeah, it's very interesting because it literally happens at like all stages of life too. Like even like, so like the teenage is like clothing and iPhones a lot, and then once you get to like the like 30s, then it's all about like your home and like your additions you have, the decks, you know, all that stuff. And then once you get even higher, then it's like, oh, you're like your retirement home. Do you have like a boat, like a cabin, like all this stuff? Like it's everywhere throughout the entire life.
And that, I mean, people, even if they're not technically spine breakers at that age, once you get to that point where you're getting things for yourself, you there's still those people that put in so much of their time and effort to be like other people.
Yes,
because
for
they want to
sure.
be cool and trendy and on that level. And it doesn't help when all these teenagers who have like parents that feed them and they think that everything's fine, and then you have like these social media stars or these famous celebrities that are wearing this apparel. I mean, they can say, oh, I'm rich, I afforded this, I worked for myself to get this, but them seeing that and then their rich friends who also get that, they're like, oh, I don't have that now.
Yeah, they're wearing their shirt and they're like, oh, I don't want this anymore. But it's like, you liked it before, but all of a sudden your perception of it's just gone because you saw someone else wearing a shirt and it's better than yours.
It's interesting. Social media definitely plays a big role on stuff like that, and it makes a lot of companies a lot of money.
For sure.
Anyways, this was really interesting to learn like the lyrics of the song and like all about it like that. It's really, because you wouldn't have got that from this music video.
No.
It was just like a funny music video.
You can see that they're playing very satirical characters in the music video now.
Yeah.
Which is cool to see, because we thought it was just a funny music video, but no, it's a satirical music video.
Well, hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, subscribe, like the video, let us know what other stuff from BTS like this we should check out. More like meanings behind the song, stuff like that. It's interesting to see that this is such an old song, it seems like, that they made based on this video quality, that this is what they were talking about. And now it seems like some of their more recent songs, they're just more kind of
Just vibing.
Just vibing.
Just
songs.
being happy.
Yeah.
Eating some butter.
It's interesting. Anyways, see you next time. Bye.